Hey, I'm streaming. Yeah, streaming. And as you can definitely see by the title, I'm just going to be talking about stuff, my general opinions and reactions to the Smash thing. But first, I just want to quickly pull up the Smash trailer again. I should have done this beforehand. Smash, 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 smash. Smash, smash, smash. So many videos. Just pull up the end of the trailer. Mute that. Okay, let's go back to here, move this like that. There we go. Right this, right here. Let's turn on my... You're going to see a lot of reflections in my glasses because I can't really handle that, control that without having all my monitors off. So sorry about that. But so basically, I'm going to be mainly talking about what I expect, what I'm thinking about the Smash port and stuff like that. And what I think or potentially Smash 5 port, that's honestly a big point of discussion. Personally for me, I think it's going to be Smash 5, but with some caveats. As in, I don't think that Smash 5 is going to be entirely based on a new brand new engine. Like, if it is going to be Smash 5, probably what if I can get into Sakurai's mind and head, my bet would be is that he probably would take Smash 4's engine from Wii U, gut it out, and then optimize it and partially rebuild it for Smash 5 on the Switch, and then start porting in the stuff that that they can still port in, that can still work within the engine, and then also add in new stuff. Because from what we know, Sakurai has been porting moves, effects, a lot of voice lines, especially voice lines, ever since Melee. Brawl ported a lot of stuff from Melee. Smash 4 still ported some stuff from Melee and from Brawl. That's why Smash 4 plays a lot like Brawl, because it did carry over a lot of stuff from Brawl and Melee. So basically, what makes me think this is going to be the case is because it's coming out this year, and of all the Wii U ports and stuff like that. What makes me say it's not a port is because Sakurai has said himself that he doesn't want to do the same thing again. One of the reasons why he worked on Brawl was because Nintendo approached him and said, if you're not going to direct Brawl, we're just going to port Melee with online. Some people would prefer that, but that's essentially what they told Sakurai if he wasn't on board for directing Brawl. Was essentially they're just going to port Melee and add online, and that's it. And Sakurai doesn't like that. He doesn't like repeating stuff, which is the reason why he no longer works on Kirby anymore. Yeah, he was the creator of Kirby, but he didn't like the sequelness of games, which is the reason why after every Smash game he says, oh, this is the last one. Oh, this is the last one. Oh, this is the real last one. And it has been confirmed that Sakurai even tweeted out himself is that he is working on this new Smash game. So that tells me that it's going to be at least gameplay wise more new than what a lot of people would make it out to be. And just based on how the trailer works, I'm not actually going to show the trailer just simply because I don't want to get copyright spammed from Nintendo. And with the trailer, honestly, it's reminiscent to the Splatoon 1 trailer. Inkling Girl just threw the bomb and stuff like that, and then it it slowly becomes darker. Inkling Girl slows down. She just kind of comes to a complete halt. Then she looks behind her with the flame red background. And what makes me think this is going to be how they're going to reintroduce the Smash trailers themselves. And should I also say, as a side note, that this is the most intimidating Smash trailer that has ever, or just video game trailer in general. It's like, oh, look at this, cool, fun, and then slowly turns around after the room goes dark with this giant, intimidating Smash flaming logo. And the music is pretty serious too, and we just see Mario shrouded in darkness, If you just look at him, it's just like, oh man, this is like serious. This is dark, especially the Link one. Like that just straight up looks ominous, and it's just so dark looking. It's amazing. From what I can tell, he seems to have the Master Sword sheath on his back. So I think he's going to be just using the Master Sword as typically. But this is just straight up intimidating and stuff. It's just like scary. But I think this is going to be the new way how they're going to reintroduce characters again. Or just introduce new characters. Because if you remember from Smash 4, from the Villager trailer and onwards, right as they reveal a character, there was always that shing that goes across the screen. And with that, they usually have it be the reveal of the character. Same thing with Mega Man, same thing. Pretty much almost every single character had the shing that was revealed. So I think this is how they're going to be introducing now, with the intimidating, from what I can tell, either a flaming banner or the son of Smash, the star of the life force of Smash embodied into a flame. But what can lead credence to it being a port is the fact that it is a flame, as a flame was the biggest aesthetic for Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U, as we saw it was, you know, heavy on the flame aspect in terms of its logo and stuff. So that could be a potential thing, or this is the most intimidating thing possible. A lot of people have been also saying that the fact that it's coming out this year, or supposedly this year, makes me also believe that no, it's not going to be a port. Because as we've been seeing more recently with Nintendo, is that they haven't been scared to reveal things really late. Like, just look at the Switch. That had like, it was revealed in October, so November, December, January, February, March. Only 5 months from its official announcement to its actual release day-ish. Maybe even less than that, because it released really early in March. It only had its birthday recently. So having a Smash game be revealed, let's just say it comes out at the same time as Nintendo Online, which would be like the most perfect thing possible. So we got April, or the rest of March. So let's count the rest of March for maximum time. Rest of March, April, May, June, July, August, September. That's only 7 months. That's still longer compared to the official announcement of the Nintendo Switch, if we're not counting NX. They mentioned NX a long time ago, but that's longer than the Nintendo Switch reveal to release. I don't think it's impossible for this to be the new Smash Brothers. And like I said, they're probably going to be using the base engine of 4, just heavily gutted out, rebuilt, and then put back together from there. And no doubt it's going to definitely play similar to how Smash 4 just played as a faster, more tighter version of Smash Brawl. Oh, thank you, Mike, as I'm just going to call you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate the love. But yeah. Where was that? Yeah. It's no doubtly going to play similar. Like, all Smash games play similar. It's the same basic sumo fighter type thing where you knock off your opponent off the stage and off screen. But if this is indeed a Smash 4 port, I'm a little bit unsure about it. Like, I would still buy it, play it, and just love it. Like, to get, you know what? Let's bust out my 3DS just to show you how dumb I am and how much how much I made my hand into pretzels. Yes, this still has charge. Okay, I'm gonna show you my play log. I'm gonna show you my play log because it is dumb. Okay, play log, activity log, as it's technically called. I wish the Switch had this kind of activity log. Software library. Yeah, Yes. Yes. $711 hours. I love myself in Smash 4. And I never owned the Wii U version because I could never afford one back when it was relevant. I think the Smash games are just fantastic games, like in general. So, yes, I would definitely say I can get addicted to Smash even if I've never played it before. If I got my hands just on a tiny bit of Smash. They're very intuitive fighters. They're very fun. They're fan servicey to hell and back. It's the ultimate crossover fighting game, if you ask me. So yeah, like I said, 711 hours on 3DS. So my hands are officially pretzels. So if it is indeed a Smash 4 port, putting in another 700 hours. If you never played Smash before, Mike, you don't need to worry about knowing half the characters. In fact, I'm pretty sure most people who love Smash don't even know who half the Fire Emblem characters are. In fact, to give you an idea on the best part of Smash is that it introduces you to these characters, which is one of the best parts. Because back when Marth and Roy were first in Smash Melee, back on the GameCube, there was not even a single Fire Emblem game out in the States. But due to their popularity of Smash, people were interested in trying out the games. So, it's just a good way to introduce yourself to these characters. You will, might be, if you really like Ness and Lucas, you might get interested in the Earthbound games, or the Mother games, as they're called in Japan. If you're interested in Captain Falcon, you might want to try out F-Zero games, and maybe rally behind the fact that we haven't gotten a new F-Zero in, 10 plus years. Almost 15 years, I think, actually. Holy crap. If you like, I don't know, you never played a Zelda game, you really like how Link plays, there you go. You got a Switch, you can get Breath of the Wild. I like Splatoon. I think it still has some issues to iron out, but I'm super excited for the DLC, Mike. So, yeah. I have Splatoon 2. In fact, I've been kind of itching to play it again because of the announcement of the DLC and new stuff. Kind of want to play it again. But yeah. So if Smash 4 is getting ported to Switch, and this is what we see, I would not mind it. But I would much rather new characters be saved for Smash 5. If we are getting Smash 4, I want Smash 5 to come out close, maybe halfway through the Switch's life cycle, with all the new characters. Because I don't want them to blow out all the new characters now with a port, unless they're planning to add a lot of new characters. If it is a port, I would not want a Smash 5 until the next Nintendo console, or have Smash 5 be extremely experimental. Maybe have it be a true 3D fighter instead of a 2D fighter. And have less characters to make the combat engine more tighter made. So they can focus on making it really good and experimenting, while keeping all the stupid amount of characters that are in Smash 4. So let me just kind of organize it a little bit more easier. If Smash 4 comes out on a Nintendo Switch, I want one of two. I want this one thing from it. If it is getting ported, is what we see here is a port. I want them to use this as an evergreen build of the game, similar to how Overwatch does things, where there's no Overwatch 2 that will ever come out, but instead they're adding on new characters. Just have that for Smash 4, on Nintendo Switch, and the next Nintendo console they just ported it again with all the previous characters, just adding in new characters while revamping some characters as time goes on to make them more accurate to their modern day equivalent, like as we see here with Breath of the Wild Link. And maybe like adding in or changing an ability here and there, while also just, you know, continuing to add it, and it's just, you know, the consistent Smash build, while every brand new Smash game that comes to Nintendo consoles would be more experimental and a little bit more focused, having less characters and more focus on the experimental part of, you know, Smash. Maybe making it a 3D fighter, maybe making it more like a traditional fighter, you know, stuff like that. Like really going at it in the experimentation of it. But what I would prefer, personally for me, is just one Smash game, brand new, every console, each one feeling a bit different from the last. Which is what I'm feeling is going to be the case here. It's probably, like I said, going to use Smash 4's engine as a base, but heavily modifying it to feel different, because Sakurai has said himself on multiple occasions that he doesn't like how he doesn't want the games to feel similar to each other. And because of that, it's probably going to, at the very least, play decently different. And why I believe it's going to be Smash 5. I wouldn't mind a Smash 4 port, because, again, those hours don't lie. I love myself some Smash, especially Smash 4. Now, in terms of what other characters I would like to see. First, let's talk about for some definite ones. Ice Climbers is coming back because we don't have to worry about 3DS holding it back. And just a quick thing on Ice Climbers on 3DS. I can totally see why it wasn't on 3DS. Or in the version in general. Because 3DS, yes, it might be a decently powerful console, but what differs Ice Climbers from, let's say, Rosalina Luma, another duo character in Smash 4, is that Luma is incredibly simple and is a part of Rosalina's movesets, as in a button directly corresponds to Luma's actions, while Nana is a fully fledged made character with her essentially with all the same physics, all the same attributes and abilities as Popo, but also reacts to what the main player is doing. She doesn't just have her own movesets that only she does. No, she is a separate character that's effectively on your team. So if you have like an entire match of Nana and Popos and only one character is playing one character, or one person's actually playing one of the characters and the rest are CPUs, so you effectively have a CPU controlling a character with another CPU reacting to that CPU's action. Actions. And then you throw in items, the most intensive travel stages possible, and you got yourself some laggy mess. And yes, in a 1v1 scenario, totally it can work. Ice Climbers can most certainly work. Even in the earliest versions of Smash 4 on 3DS, people have actually data mined and even found some glitches at one point where you can actually get the chance of Nana and Popo to happen. Because they were originally going to be in 3DS. So, yeah. And another thing about clone characters, Sakurai has gone on the record before as well, is that even if you take all the clone characters that are in Smash 4 and stuff like that and compile them into one character in terms of budget, they won't even equal a character in terms of budget, because they're that cheap to make. Lucina was originally going to be a costume for Marth to match up with Robin, who is a unique character. So what they did was just essentially say, oh hey, we already had the voice acting, we already have the model, she's already rigged up to Marth's costume, just make her a tiny bit shorter and just change up how her blade is balanced, not have the tipper but rather just a perfectly balanced hit in her blade, and just tweak a thing in there you go. You got a super cheap extra character to the roster. And Sakurai has even said that he doesn't operate based on slots. So he jams in as many characters as the budget allows. So once they used up all the character budget and only has, let's just say, like a half a character's worth of budget, what he doesn't after that is take that budget, split it across different characters, and just essentially make them into brand new characters that are just clones of each other. Clone characters are supremely cheap and easy to make, so thus they're just easy to have. So, plus I'm also a Lucina main, so maybe a bit biased. The only time when a clone character has actively disappointed me or bothered me was actually with Dark Pit. And that's simply because Dark Pit could easily had different moves. Because in his character portrait, he has the bow staff. Just the staff in his portrait, which is like kind of hilarious since it doesn't appear in his normal moveset unless you use a Final Smash. So competitively, he might as well not even have it at all. I think it would have been interesting if he had all the different weapons from Kid Icarus Uprising. Like, some of his attacks could be using the first blade, the other attacks can use, like, his smash attacks can use the club, his jab could be, like, the claws, his specials can be all the long range stuff, like his neutral B could be, like, an aimed shot with the bow staff, similar to how Pit just aims a shot with his bow, but still being appreciably different. Since Dark Pit can't adjust his arrows as much, that could have been the reasoning why it's more like a rifle that he shoots out. Some other stacks could have been with the orbiters and stuff like that. You could have done a lot with that. So I hope if Dark Pit does make a return, I hope he has all those changes, like where he uses more different kinds of stuff. Which is the only time when a clone character has actively bothered me, because that kind of makes it harder. Because if he was a DLC character later on instead, that couldn't be possible because he was already in the game as a clone. That's the only time when a clone character has actively ever bothered me. Well, I guess technically the second one would be Ganon, but he's so iconic with his side B, neutral Bs, all his attacks, like, like, especially in the competitive community, he's just kind of iconic the way he is. It's kind of weird, but if he does get revamped or changed, I want him to be like Hyrule Warriors Ganon. That would be amazing. Yes, another sword character, yeah, but maybe you can give him like an axe or a trident instead, which he does use in Hyrule Warriors. So he could be decently different. But the next thing I would personally want in Smash, in terms of, I'm perfectly fine with clone characters, because they only just add more variety to the game, in my opinion. I'm not bothered by them at all, especially with Sakurai's reasoning and like how he put it, like it's like getting extra dessert at the end of your meal at a restaurant, at free of charge of the chef. And then when people complain about it, it's like complaining about how you don't get more of the main course, even though you got the dessert for free, because that's how it is in development. It's essentially practically a free bonus, and it's really cheap to do. That's why there's so many clone characters and fighters, because it just helps fills out the roster while giving slight more variety. As long as it's not like half clone characters, then yeah, then there might be an issue of you could have scrapped some of them, or it was just that cheap and bloated. But I think Smash 4 had a good balance between unique and clone characters. But in terms of unique new characters, my stretch, or not my stretch, I guess the one I would like the most is a Bravely character. Like Edea, Ring a Bell, Magnolia are my 3 favorite Bravely characters. And how you can probably do it is, like, here's my idea. You have 2 Bravely characters in the game, or 2 Bravely slots, I guess. The physical Bravely characters and the magical Bravely characters. The physicals would be Ring a Bell, Edea, and Magnolia. And the magic would be you, Tiz, and Agnes. Pretty much, the magical characters will have all the magical abilities from the job classes from Bravely Default and Bravely Second, while the physical characters will have all the physical attacks, like from Dark Knight, Valkyrie, and stuff like that. And Ring a Bell, Edea, and Magnolia would just all share one character slot, just each one being a different costume, effectively. Almost kind of like Lucina was originally going to be for Marth, but just with 3 different characters with maybe their own unique taunts and stuff like that. And same thing with the magic characters. Each one would just be each of their own character, maybe having 3 or 2 different costumes. Or you can have the original Bravely cast as all of one character, just each one getting 2 costumes for a total of 8 costumes, how they were in Smash 4, assuming if we're going by the same 8 costume limit. Or if they want to upgrade the limit to like 16 costumes, each character can get essentially double the costumes. Each one can have 4, thus for a total of 16 costumes. If they want to add more costumes and more color alterations for each character, which I think would be awesome. In terms of other potential characters from Square Enix, I can totally either see a Dragon Quest character, because that is super big and popular in Japan. Like, to give you an idea, like, Dragon Quest is almost as popular as Mario in Japan. That's how popular Dragon Quest is as a series. So I can totally see a Dragon Quest representative coming in. Excuse me. So I can totally see that happen instead, which I will be fine with. Especially the fact that one of the very first Switch games that were ever acknowledged to exist was the most recent Dragon Quest game. Or, I don't think it's out yet, actually. Was it Dragon Quest? I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Quest, more of a Final Fantasy guy. But essentially that new Dragon Quest game for PS4 and 3DS and Switch, that game still needs to come out as well, and they can just use a character from that as a representative to promote it and still have a Dragon Quest representative. Or next, if it is indeed a new Smash Bros, Cloud is getting cut. Cloud's getting cut, but being replaced with another Final Fantasy representative, probably from someone from the Super Nintendo era, like Terra from 6, Bartz from 5, or even Cecil from 4. In fact, Cecil can bring back the whole idea of transforming characters. How he worked in Dissidia was that his aerial combat was based around Paladin, and his ground combat was based around Dark Knight. So his Dark Knight specials would be ground specials, and his mid-air specials would be Paladin specials. And it would change them depending on which ones you use. So that could be like kind of like a neat thing that they could do. If they introduce Terra from Final Fantasy VI, they can have her play similar to Robin if Robin's not going to be carried over, which I have a feeling that Robin might not be. If this is indeed a Smash 5, they might want to focus a Fire Emblem representative from the newest Fire Emblem, which has always been the case typically. Like, for example, Ike had a sequel game on the Wii, I believe called Radiant Dawn. So that's why he was in Smash Brawl. And Brawl was developed roughly after Path of Radiance, which I believe is the GameCube title. I might be getting the titles mixed up. Brawl started development roughly after that. And then you have obviously Fire Emblem Awakening being for Smash 4, and Smash having Fire Emblem Fates characters, where even in the design doc that was released about Smash 4 was actually showed that they did plan to have a character from the newest Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Fates, as potentially as an update or a DLC character straight from the start. So a character like Corrin was always planned. They just didn't know what it would be exactly at that point. So it's probably going to be Robin's probably going to get cut. Corrin might stay. Faith did decently well, but it had a lot of controversy around it in terms of like both North American censorship with one of the mini games in the game. Personally, for me, I don't think it had the best writing, especially around Corrin. But Corrin herself, as a design, is very popular. Camilla is very popular, especially in Japan. So I can see Corrin staying rather than Robin, more so than Robin. But if we are going to see characters like Lucina get cut, Lucina might be replaced by someone like Lyn, who's really popular, and Nintendo has been more actively acknowledging the fact that she is a super popular character. And we have seen some trophy characters, or assist trophy characters, become actual characters in the next game. For example, Little Mac was originally an assist trophy in Brawl. And then he became an actual character in Smash 4. And then you have, and I think Lynn could have the same treatment. Potentially even Isaac as well from Golden Sun. The reason why I say Lucina would get cut for that is because there is a kind of a big complaint about sword characters. Characters like Corrin generally play pretty different, and we dare say Corrin's more like a spear and sword character since of her like lance arm dragon thing. It kind of acts more like spear. And Lynn can play appreciably different from characters like Marth, since she is more of a samurai type character, so that can have very different kind of attacks. And, you know, Ike might as well be wielding a giant club or axe as well, which he, if I remember correctly, can also wield, depending on how you develop him as a class. So, yeah. Good coffee. Instant coffee at that. So, in terms of new Fire Emblem characters, I think Robin's going to get cut, potentially replaced with a Final Fantasy character like Terra, who can have a very similar fighting style with a sword and magic as she was in her game. If not, completely replaced with the new Fire Emblem character that could potentially come out, which I think is supposed to come out this year. We haven't heard much about it. I need to look that up. And Corrin is like, Marth and Ike are definitely staying. They're a little bit too iconic. Maybe Roy, if they want to really have a Marth clone. Because having Roy and Lucina would be really redundant, even though Roy does play more appreciably different. Which is the reason why I think Lucina might get cut. Because if they're going to cut Robin, they're definitely going to cut Lucina. Like, Lucina might stay as a costume, though, I should also say. So, if Lucina is staying at all, she's becoming a costume. Robin has a likely chance of getting cut. Corrin might be able to stay. Roy, if there is a Marth clone, he's the one staying. Out of the two current clone characters. And we're getting a new Fire Emblem character, is all my predictions from the newest Fire Emblem game. And maybe Lynn, if she replaces Lucina. In terms of other things, Arms is definitely getting a character. That's just like, you know, that's like almost too good. Like, regardless how well Arms did, which it did sell over 1 million copies, which is pretty nice. Arms is definitely getting a character. Probably Springman with Ribbon Girl, probably as the same character. Just, you know, with alternate costumes and stuff like that. Personally, I would want Min Min and Twin Tail, which are my two personal favorites. I haven't played Arms in a while. I'm kind of critical of Arms' gameplay style. Like, I have some issues with it. But the characters are fantastic. The personalities are amazing. And I would definitely love to see any character, except Springman. He's a little bit too boring. Yeah. But, you know, probably if Springman is getting in, he's probably going to share a slot with Ribbon Girl, and they're probably just going to be alternate costumes of each other and stuff like that. If not, they're going to be clones, which I always would be fine with. Also, I want Min Min in there as well, if that's the case. Instead of a Final Fantasy representative, they might actually have a Octopath Traveler representative, now that I think about it. So, for Square Enix, they might... Cloud, I'm not sure if he's going to stay or not. I would like him to stay. But... probably he will be either replaced by or joined by a Bravely character, Octopath character, or Dragon Quest character. Those are like... Or a Final Fantasy representative. Probably from the Super Nintendo era, which is where Final Fantasy is most iconic with Nintendo. And if they really want to throw us a curveball, a Chrono Trigger character. Probably like Chrono or something like that. People freak the hell out of that. Probably other things that they'll probably add is... Mario's moveset might change. Like, his cape might become like a cappy throw. Like, personally for me, like, if they're going to bring back custom moves... In fact, let's talk about custom moves for a little bit. I think custom moves can work if, one, they are unlocked from the start, and two, they come in sets. How it will work is that some characters will have custom extra sets. Like a Type A, Type B sort of thing. where when you select the character, you can go down to their portrait and select, or maybe press a hotkey. I'm playing too much FF14. Like, let's say X and Y can change, or like the triggers can change the color or costume, but you can press something like minus or something like that, or go down to their portrait and select a variation of the character, where we can have classic Mario, where he has the cape, flood, and stuff like that. But you can get a different Mario, where his side B changes into the Mario spin, his neutral B is now the Cappy button, and stuff like that. And this is how we can also get classic Link back, where modern Link, Breath of the Wild Link, can have his up be like a warriors of I can't pronounce names for the birds, Gale, Boyds, not Falco's Gale. It could be his up B, which leads into his paraglider, and his down B could be a remote bomb, where instead of just being a bomb that explodes, it either has to get hit with an attack, or you press down B again to automatically trigger it, and stuff like that. And his guard could be Darunia's protection. I think it's called Darunia's protection. I get names mixed up between all the Gorons. But then his set B would be his classic moves, which can also give you different sets of costumes to work with as well. This is how we can get Dr. Mario, maybe potentially Lucina as technically a new character, or back as a character, but have her be like a set B for Marth. And won't apply to every character, because as we've seen in Smash 4, not every character had really good custom moves like Sheik and such. In fact, Sheik was objectively worse with custom moves. Ranked, if you were to competitively tier-wise it, Sheik would still be better off with her normal moves. So this should only apply to certain characters like Palutena, maybe Mario, maybe Luigi. Link is another good example. Maybe that's how we can get both classic Smash Ganondorf and a modern Hyrule Warriors-esque Ganondorf, or just a different kind of Ganondorf, and stuff like that, while also minimizing clone characters as well, which I think would make people happy. And this would be allowed in online play, like in Floor Glory, because Palutena had a big issue where her base moveset wasn't that impressive, because it was supposed to be incentive to make her custom. But customs weren't allowed online unless you were playing with friends, which was very bothersome. And the fact that you had to grind them out, the fact that you can get duplicates constantly, and you didn't get anything for a duplicate. You didn't even get like gold bonus, like, oh hey, you got a duplicate, you get 100 extra gold. No, you just got a duplicate and that's it. You were kind of like screwed out of it, and made it really tedious and grindy. So if you have that character, you have all their custom sets, and it will be compared in sets, so it'll be easier to balance each individual move. Since some custom moves, like the Gusty Cape for Mario, was absolutely broken. It was hilarious, but it was broken. There's a DLC for Super Smash Bros. Trico. Swatch. Not sure what you mean by that, Brands End 2.0, but I would like one of Trico's Evolutions to be a character. That would be really cool, because we don't have a grass representative anymore. We have a water representative. We have a fire representative, and we don't have a water representative for a starter. So I would really like Trico in Smash 4 in general. That would be really cool. Like, probably his mid-evolution to because or potentially final evolution. You don't need to be sorry. I make typos all the time. Yeah, Sceptile, which is one of Trico's evolutions. Even though you clearly see Pokemon on my back walls, I'm really bad with names in general. Like, that's just an issue that I have, is that I can probably recognize most Pokemon. Like, in my head, I could probably think about, like, generally most of them up to, like, Gen 5. I kind of dropped off since Gen 6. I've been trying to get back into it, but I just hadn't had the money to spend on it. I've been prioritizing other games and stuff. But Emerald was my first game, and Trico was my first ever starter. But then I started a new file because I wanted Mudkip. Because I like Mudkips. But I don't have Brawl anymore. My disc got scratched and my Wii's bricked, so I'm gonna have to buy a new Wii and a new copy of Brawl. So, but anyway, this is mainly talking about Smash 5 / Smash 4 port to Wii U, wherever this new game is going to be. But you do bring up a good point about, like, Sceptile in general. It would just be nice to have a grass starter in the newest Smash, because we have a water starter and we have a fire starter, but we don't have a grass starter, which is a bit sad. So when it comes to other things like other characters I would like, kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, custom moves. With custom moves, like, I think if they have it in sets, it'll be a lot easier to balance each individual custom move, because it will always be paired with other moves. So you didn't have to, like, make sure the move was significantly good enough to work with everything else, like with the Gusty Cape, and it will prevent moves from just being really pointless or just kind of boring. Because a lot of moves were just like, oh, it's a smaller but less damaging, faster version of this move, or this is just a big bomb version of Link's normal bomb, which was kind of pointless and useless a lot of the time. A lot of the time the standard move was just flat better, but if we're going to have stuff like Breath of the Wild Link and Classic Link, I think that would be a good idea to have different customs. That can also give you access to different characters, which would kind of help with the clone problem, while also introducing more moves and stuff. I want Mario Kart 7 to be free. Not sure why you're bringing that up, but it's a 3DS title. It's probably like $20 now, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably part of the Nintendo Selects. I should turn off my 3DS. Turn off. Thank you. Put this back in. Boop a doop. So yeah, I would like to see custom sets be a thing, and be able to make them usable online with anonymous people. And probably the next point I want to talk about, to get off characters for a bit, is how the online should be handled. Smash 4 was definitely a step in the right direction, but to me it lacked one important thing, which is a lobby system. Because, the quick match system between For Glory and For Fun was an issue, how you didn't have 1v1 for fun, and the fact that every stage was Final Destination and there was no hazard toggle, which everyone could agree hazard toggle would just be the better option instead of just making everything Final Destination with Omega stages. Like, I wouldn't mind Omega stages of every stage, just also give me like a beta stage where it's just the platforms and unique assets and stuff, just without the enemies. Not every stage has to have like I guess what you would call a battlefield stage. Like Great Cave Offensive from Wii U, that doesn't need to have a battlefield version, I would say. But stuff like the Wily Castle, I still want the platforms and stuff that spawn and use stuff. And even tournament players have said, and tournament organizers would say, if Yellow Devil wasn't a part of the stage, it would be a legal stage. So, that's just kind of sad how, we don't have those kind of stages in legal play, or just like available online in Floor Glory. If stages like Battlefield, Wily's Castle without the Yellow Devil, a few other stuff, some travel stages are okay, and stuff like that, even if they're not always a tourney legal stage, which I wouldn't mind personally. since I'm not super hardcore competitive, like, you know, I don't mind a zany stage every once in a while. You know, it helps spice up things and keeps things from being boring. Uh, I say that as someone who spent 700 hours on Smash 4, mainly in 1v1 full glory, but yeah. uh, I'm kind of wrecking my voice. Uh, so basically, I want there to be a lobby system where in most fighting games you usually can set up a lobby and just have and just name the lobby. You customize whatever you want it to be in there, what kind of game mode you want, and things like that. Obviously, 8-player Smash wouldn't be a thing because, you know, that would be a laggy nightmare, and that would be maybe a little bit too much for the Switch to handle. But, you know, I want to be able to set up my own room with my own rules, with my own stuff. Maybe like set like, oh, you can only choose these characters, or you can only do 1v1s, or it's a 2v2 with friendly fire. It's 3 stock instead of 2 stock. You know, I want to be able to do that kind of stuff. And due to the fact that you had to have the friend code of people if you want to play with other people online through an actual decent lobby system, you know, that becomes incredibly difficult because not a lot of people, for at least for me, didn't play a lot of Smash. I'm not exactly the most social person in the world, as you can tell by my voice and my overall awkwardness, but I really just want to have a lobby system because getting a friend code is annoying. Finding people who want to play Smash 3DS when Smash Wii U was out, because most people who would go and bother do the whole friend code thing probably already have a Wii U and probably play Smash on Wii U, and no one wants to go back to 3DS. I was just kind of stuck with 3DS. And if I was anybody, I'll probably only play 3DS on the go. Like if I was at school or something like that and played the Wii U version at home. I probably have like 800 hours, if not more, on the Wii U version. Because I actually stopped playing my 3DS because I was actually damaging my C-stick on my new 3DS, and my 2DS's circle pad was actually damaged a bit. It's like noticeably a lot looser. It still generally functions, but you can definitely tell that moving it to the right and up is a lot more looser compared to down and left. So, well, I guess it would be the reverse for you in that perspective. Anyway, or was no, the image is revert. Up, right. No, it moves left. Like, whatever. Focusing on the bad stuff, or not important stuff. So basically, I want just lobby systems so I can actually play with people online. I want to be able to play with anonymous people, maybe make new friends and stuff like that. Splatoon 2 still needs a lobby system, and hopefully that the game launches with Nintendo Online. In fact, my hard prediction for Nintendo for Super Smash Brothers, whether this be a port or 5, is going to launch with Nintendo Online. And if it gets delayed, Nintendo Online is also getting delayed. I don't think they'll risk having a bad launch of Nintendo Online before Smash. They're going to launch it with Smash, because Splatoon 2 at that point in September would be over a year old, and it has been free for over a year in September, which is when Nintendo Online is coming out. So they will need to launch it with a new game. You know, Mario Kart would also be over a year and a half, if I'm doing my math correctly. Bad with months as well, as you might be able to tell. I forgot what exact month Mario Kart 8 came out. I know it wasn't like launch day, but yeah. So it's gonna probably come out with Switch Online. So hopefully it has a proper lobby system, so I can do that kind of stuff, which would be nice. The next thing I would like to see is 1v1 for fun mode, because for online, because no matter how good your netcode is, the gameplay is going to be only as good as the lowest possible internet that is a part of that play. So if one person out of the 4 players have really bad internet, it's just going to be a laggy mess. And I try to play for fun, and you just got people who just played characters like Meta Knights and just get enough kills to be in the lead and just played getaway for the entire thing because they know they can get away with it. because it was so dang laggy and Meta Knight was so fast in Smash 4 still that it was impossible to even hit him because it was just that dang laggy. I had a 5-minute match last as long as 30 from how bad it was. That's how bad the match was. It was like 30-ish minutes. It was just painful and just hard to get through. So when it comes to stuff like that, I really hope there's a 1v1 option, because no matter how good your netcode is going to be, like, just due to how fighting games work, they don't want you just constantly snapping back or snapping to a new position in the game, because that would just feel extra terrible. It has to have that slight delay or lag in order for it to even be remotely reasonable, because any other kind of type of net play would be just horrible for any form of Smash game, or any fighting game. Like, you can't use an MMO style coding things, because MMOs work based on the fact that it is a little bit more MMO-y, I guess is the best way to put it. So you can have snap arounds and not have it be the worst thing in the world. It's generally considered more accepted due to the massive amount of players and things that are going on. It's more target based, I guess you can also say. And they can usually benefit it towards the client side, because you're usually going against mobs or AI controlled enemies. It's not, yeah, PvP is a thing, but it's usually more geared towards things like fighting against AI controlled enemies. So for something like a fighter, you need to have netcode that benefits for that will halt the game to allow everyone to catch up. And ideally, good netcode will allow below average internet who's connected through an Ethernet cord, or average internet, whether for Ethernet cord or Wi-Fi, to generally be really good. Having better internet will always improve the experience, having it directly connected. I have an Ethernet cord set up to my computer, but I can also hook it up to my Switch because I have a 3.0 USB Ethernet adapter. So if I want to take things seriously, I do connect it to my Switch. If I want to play stuff like Splatoon very seriously and not just casually, I will connect it to my Switch. So that, having good internet is still important, because remember, just as a general thing, it doesn't matter how good something's netcode is or how bad it is, bad internet will always equal bad experiences. But of course, bad netcode can make even the most amazing internets be crap. And I think they're only going to improve upon the netcode, because, Smash 4 wasn't terrible. I played it on 3DS, like I said, I played it for over 700 hours. So it wouldn't be that, I don't think it was that bad. It was just more that there was no way to tell what your opponent's connection was, which was really bad, because I couldn't tell what kind of ping count they had, what their connection to the internet was like. It was literally just a crapshoot. So I couldn't leave the match if their internet was straight up bad. While other fighting games usually warn you if your opponent has a bad internet connection by showing what their ping is like. Yeah, that person might not get a lot of play, but it's also bad for everybody if the match just goes on and on and on with this terrible, terrible lag. And it's just not fun. It's just not a fun match, especially if you play Floor Glory and the person plays really lame and abuses the fact that their connection is laggy. Yeah, they're playing to their best ability based on what they have, and some people purposely use bad connections just to take advantage of that. But for the people who just have those connections, I'm not blaming them for playing that way. That's the only way they can win. But for someone like myself who actually has average internet, like, I think like mine is slightly above average, from what I can tell based on numbers, my experience is heavily bogged down, and like sometimes I go for months without playing Smash because I didn't want to deal with the bad internet. I don't want to deal with other people's bad connections. I want to be able to see what my opponent's internet like. And when I set up my lobby, I can set up a internet requirements saying like, oh, hey, you need at least to have this good internet, like average internet, not a bad, crappy connection, with a certain ping count in order to actually play with me. Because my ping count on, like, from what I play of Overwatch, I know it's around 40-ish, 42 ping, which is like average. Like most people like have like around 60 ping, and I played around with 60 ping before, and it's fine for something like a shooter. And for a fighter, as long as you're directly connected with an Ethernet cord, it shouldn't be that horrible. Yeah, having less ping will always be better, and having less than 10 ping is considered what is the competitive ping. But I wouldn't want anybody with over like 120 ping to join my room, or to play with someone like that. Or maybe I will try, depending on how the netcode handles it, but just having good internet will always improve things. And I want to see something that can allow me to detect whether or not my opponent's going to have some bad internet, because I don't want to just play an entire 15+ minute match that's supposed to only last 5 minutes on the timer, because the game is constantly slowing down and further and further and further. And my voice, my throat. I need to practice talking more. I need to practice talking a lot. But yeah, it's just like, come on. So I really hope that there's just more options, even if it's like the exact same netcode. As long as there's more options and more ways to play online, like with Special Smash, different like 1v1 for fun Smash, making my own lobbies with my own rule sets and stuff like that. Even if customs are locked out of full glory, I still want it in for fun. Like, why can't it be in for fun? It's for fun. It's casual. Why is the customs locked out for fun? And there's a lot of weird choices like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm just talking to myself at this point. A lot of people come in and out. But anyway, I really want to play Smash with a Switch Pro controller. It would seem very comfortable. This has a lot of dust when you clean it. But yeah. Going back to characters, we're going to talk about characters for a little bit, just for a tiny bit. I really hope Zelda gets a revamp. I want her to be more new, maybe like more mage-like, or not mage, unless she's already kind of a mage, but more like different. Because her moveset, as Sakurai put it, was originally built in mind with Sheik's moveset. Because he actually actively acknowledged how Zelda has a very low pick rate. She's considered one of the worst characters in the Smash games because she's generally really slow, or attacks don't really hit very often. I really like playing as Zelda, but I'll admit, yeah, she's not that fun to play as. In terms of competitive sense, she is in a very big disadvantage. And one thing that could really help with her is getting her a revamp. Maybe getting her like a Fire Rod or Fire and Ice Rod. Maybe make her more like her Hyrule Warriors equivalent. And things like that. Like change her up a bit. Maybe she is her Breath of the Wild design, and she uses the different weapons from Breath of the Wild, like spears and greatsword, or maybe just spears, because I think that would just work better. Or like she has all the different weird weapons and stuff. Maybe she uses the Sheikah Slate more, while Link still has a more traditional moveset. And, stuff like that. Maybe she uses the Dominion Rod, kind of play up the Phantom Knight thing, which was her new down B, but also have things like, the Dominion statues and other kind of controllable golems that she can use as part of her special attacks. That would be awesome. Maybe revamp her current specials, like Nehru's Love. Well, I think Nehru's Love is fine. But maybe like making them fire a little bit more useful. Maybe changing up, just change her up a lot more. Like revamp her to make her more useful. Maybe change up her normals to be a bit more fun, and just more usable and stuff like that. Considering Sakurai made an entire rant about how he loves Xenoblade 2, I'm betting some good money that we might see Rex, Pyra, or Mythra. I would personally like Pyra and Mythra be one character and have her be the transforming character of the game. Maybe not like a drastic transform, but maybe like, almost kind of like how Shulk has the different Monado arts, and how Pyra could be a little bit more faster and more combo heavy, while Pyra is more of the heavy hitter, punch them really hard kind of character. But they'll have effectively the same moves, but like their neutral B or down B could be the transformation and stuff. So, yeah. If not, Rex could be a part of it. But I would personally prefer Pyra and Mythra. Personally, I like Morag the best out of the characters. Maybe Zeke be thrown in there. But Pyra and Mythra can act as a very good transforming character. I would still want Shulk in the game, because Shulk is an amazing character. I love him. He was the first character I ever played in the full retail version of Smash 4. He's great. I like him. I like him a lot. Hope he stays. Not sure if he does. You know, if he gets cut, we're definitely getting a Xenoblade 2 character. But we're just getting indefinitely a Xenoblade 2 character. By the way, this is like a microfiber cloth. Yeah. I throw it at you. Anyway. Yeah, we're probably going to get Pyra Mythra. Shulk might get cut. If Rex is going to be in the game, Shulk will probably get cut. I want him to stay, though. I like the Monado arts. I like how he plays. I think he's a really cool character. My voice is getting tired. I think we're going to take a break. I'm going to come back later. Maybe tomorrow. Talking about more stuff. Maybe actually doodle something. Because in my description I say I might doodle something. I'm actually going to quickly remove that in the description. Boom. There. It's no longer there. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. See you later. Might do one later today or tomorrow. Talking more about Smash. And may have like a drawing set. My voice. It's dying. Anyway. Bye.